You gave up a TV job to start a podcast in your basement. If that doesn't scream midlife crisis, I don't know what does.
It was Championship Sunday here in Indianapolis. What's the mindset then coming in as a defending champion?
I want to win. No, I want to win.
The young lady over my shoulder, Caitlin Clark.
Not the best looking guy. And I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say, Matt Randazzo was really good looking.
What has this last month, 2 months, 3 months been like for you? It's an important fan base for the Fighting Illini, is it not?
It is.
He turned 69 years young last week. He looked good, Coach.
Oh, try it. Thank you.
Welcome to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Wednesday in the Quad Cities. Wednesday, October 8th. Thank you guys so much for joining us. However you are watching the show, if you're watching us live on YouTube, we appreciate that. Thank you for that. Make sure you're subscribing. If you have already, thank you. If you haven't, shame on you. Get to that. Tell a friend or two or 10 about what we're doing each and every weekday at 10 a.m. We're also live on X. X always very, very good to us. So if you're watching on X, thank you. And of course, the show can be heard on all the podcasting platforms as well. I always tell you, if you don't want to look at me, and I completely understand that, go ahead and listen to the show. We're on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, Podbean, wherever you get your podcasts. Check out Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Doing it 5 days a week and having a bunch of fun doing it. Also, thank you to our viewers, our newer viewers in Central Iowa. It's a big week this week and next week. We're really excited because next Tuesday we'll be live at Carver Hawkeye Arena for Iowa Women's Basketball Media Day. We'll do the show down at Carver Hawkeye Arena live, have some guests, talk to some local Hawkeyes, Journey Houston, some of the other Hawkeyes as well. So it should be a bunch of fun. And if we have so much fun that day, which I think we will, we're going to do it again on Wednesday as well. We'll be at Carver Hawkeye Arena for the Men's Basketball Media Day as well. So two big shows coming up next Tuesday and Wednesday live from Carver Hawkeye Arena. We did it for the Football Media Day. It was a bunch of fun. It worked out well. That's me knocking on wood because technology can get the best of me at times, but it should be some fun coming up next week as well. Don't forget, the Hawkeye Tailgate Show will kick off the Iowa-Wisconsin pregame coverage on the Hawkeye Radio Network. We are live from Big Grove Brewery from 4 to 5 this week, and the one and only Jan Jensen will join us live at Big Grove as well. So if you're in Iowa City coming up on Saturday, you want to see the head coach, she'll be there around 4 o'clock and join us on the pregame radio show for the Hawkeye Radio Network. So a week off from that. The bye week is over. We're ready to rock and roll. We'll talk more Iowa and Wisconsin throughout the week right here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Fun show today. Trying to speed through my little intro here because we got a guest waiting that I'm super excited about. Iowa assistant basketball coach Lasondra Barrett will join us in a matter of moments to talk all about the Lady Hawkeyes, her move to Iowa, what it's been like so far, if she's ready for the cold, all that good stuff. So we got that coming up in a matter of moments. Ty Taylor will have everything we need to know on the track coming up later on as well. Our weekly Ness Guess segment from Hungry Hobo is coming up in hour number 2. And then also your Skiles Driving School Drive of the Week featuring the Annawan Wethersfield Titans coming up as well. All of that, and the Cubs play game 3 today, or I should say tonight, 4 o'clock. Late this afternoon, 4 o'clock, Cubs Brewers at Wrigley Field. We'll talk all about that as well. But I want to get to my first guest because she's been listening to me ramble probably too much. The assistant coach at the University of Iowa, Lasondra Barrett. Thank you for doing this. I appreciate it. You get probably an email from Bailey that says, hey, there's some washed up sports guy that does a podcast from his loft. Do you want to be on the show? And you said yes. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I did. Can you hear me pretty good?
You sound great.
Okay. Yeah, I did. I was like, I love everything that I've been doing since I moved here. And he's like, hey, it's a show that's live. It actually worked out because we're off today. Usually we're practicing at this block right now. So I go, let's do it. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, and I've never met you, so nice to meet you. I've heard nothing but fantastic things about you. Everybody that I've talked to says, got to get Lasondra on. She's a riot. She's fun. You making the move to Iowa. You're a Southern girl. You're an Atlanta girl. You went to LSU. I guess my first question is, why are you here at Iowa? Obviously, it's a fantastic program in school, but what got you here to the University of Iowa?
Yeah, it was when I tell you it was the craziest couple months of my life, probably or close to it. So we had a great year at Georgia Tech last year, and it led to one of my head coach retiring. So when that happened, it kind of shook things up. And honestly, I'm like, okay, well, I'll let life take me how it goes. I'm just gonna enjoy my weekend. And I keep getting these phone calls from this 319 area code, and it's Jan Jensen. And I get a voicemail. I mean, she's persistent, and I tell her, I said, I thought I was a recruiter. I mean, she is the ultimate recruiter because she called. She was super persistent. We finally got on the phone. She's like, look, I know you're here. You're a free agent right now. I don't know if you're planning on staying or what are you doing, but I would love to have you here at Iowa. So from the first conversation, I just could see the vision. I could see the enthusiasm. I mean, if you follow women's basketball, Iowa has been in the forefront of college women's sports, women's basketball for a while. So I think just even knowing that, and then just our conversation, just in what she wants to do in her vision and taking over in this era was kind of aligned with what I wanted to do. I didn't want to start over. And it just went from there. And so she goes, I think a couple of days later, she's like, just come on campus. So I get up here. I love it. It's nothing what I expected when I got off the plane. I'm like, okay, college town, but a lot to do, great people. And it just made sense. So that's how I got here.
Coach, I think people think Iowa women's basketball and think Caitlin Clark, etc., and rightfully so. But you mentioned it, and I want you to talk a little more about that because Lisa Bluter, and everybody knows this, has been doing it for a long time. And you, a two-time All-SEC player at LSU and drafted in the WNBA, you've been doing this for a while. It wasn't just like, oh, Caitlin Clark's up there, that might be a cool place. Talk about the University of Iowa because you knew about the Hawkeyes before Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, and I'm a history nut. I love to see and some of my mentors are the pioneers of this game, and you know it back from CViv, you know it from the early stages with what Coach Bluter built here, and you knew about Monica Cesano. I mean, just you knew about Megan, you knew about these other players that were here before, and I think Caitlin definitely globalized it, for sure. To give her the credit, but it's always been a proud and true program. And that's what I come from that at LSU with a strong, true fan base and knowing winners and wanting to be around winners attracted me for sure.
Coach, you said it was nothing what you expected. I have to ask you, you didn't expect corn. There are cornfields all over, so that's probably somewhat of what you expected. But what did you expect, and what it's been like, and what did you see once you got here?
I expected definitely rural, a lot of farmland. But when I got here, the downtown did not remind me of Iowa. I think that's the first place we went. And then we went to lunch, and I tell you, we couldn't even get to our table. And it was fans stopping, Coach Jan stopping me. I'm like, I'm not even here yet. But it was, and it was genuine. It was an organic, genuine. It wasn't like she planned any of this. And it just, and like I said, the town, the people were great. I heard about the Iowa Nice. I didn't really get it till my neighbor brought me food every day I moved in. And I thought that was awesome. So it just, everything. And I made a couple visits back and forth, but everything just checked every box.
When you get here and you're here and you hit the ground running, what's that been like? Because obviously you have a connection with Coach Jensen. That's going fantastic. The players as well. Just kind of talk about hitting the ground running and seeing this team on the court and basketball wise, you probably like what you see basketball wise as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when we first got here in the summer, it was go time. I mean, I was in a hotel for a couple of weeks, then I moved in. And then I went between recruiting and workouts. It was I didn't even know what day it was. I was either on the road. I mean, I was in 8 cities in 12 days recruiting. And one of those being the Czech Republic. And then I'll be here on the court working out. I work with the wings, kind of our forwards, small forwards and our kind of bigger guards. And so from there, it was nonstop. I think my first break was maybe just late August. But I think seeing the team, man, we have a really good group. They're super dynamic, super versatile. We're really deep. We have a lot of youth, but at the same time, we got some players, man. We got some ballers. We got kids that really want to win. And you factor that with the resources and the fan base, it's going to be a pretty awesome year.
You are practicing, you guys. In fact, Iowa Women's Media Day is going on right now, and Wednesday and Thursday up in Chicago. When you hit the ground running and you talk about the pieces that you see when you've gotten to the practice floor, what are the headlines, or what's practice been like? Because there's a lot of really competitive players. It's not just a small sample size of quality. There's quality and quantity as well. Kind of talk about that, because I think these coaches and you guys have to be excited about the amount of pieces that you have to put together as well.
Yeah, we see it every day. We watch film after practice, and it's just, I think it's pretty exciting. It's one of those things, you have so much, and you're also trying to, get your hand on everything we're doing defensively, lineups, how we can play two bigs, we can go small, we can go with speed. I mean, I think it's fun to play around, but it's even more seeing the development. We do have some youth, so there are some days that there are struggles, and just seeing them overcome already, which they're going to face that with our schedule. And then to see some of the returners lead, to see like Hannah and Kylie and Taylor McCabe in this leadership role is pretty awesome too.
Coach, you come from Georgia Tech, and then here comes a player from Georgia Tech in Chit-Chat Wright. Can you tell Iowa fans about her, what we can expect from Chit-Chat Wright on the floor and maybe even off the floor, and maybe personality-wise, as she becomes a Hawkeye this year?
Yeah, so her nickname's Chit Chat, but she's the quietest person you'll know. She has like this great smile. But man, she could be an assassin on that court. And recruiting her, I think when she was maybe in the 9th or 10th grade, she was a local kid when I was at Georgia Tech, and a lot of people kind of overlooked her because of her size. But the more she played up until her senior year, she had all eyes on her. And she's 5'5", but she got the biggest heart. And she's going to bring a lot of speed and quickness, passing ability. I mean, I think our posts are going to really love playing with her, and even our shooters, because she can find them. But I think she just brings a dynamic to speed up that point guard position, where if we're getting pressed, if we need to ignite our transition. And then she's a scorer too. I think people forget she has immaculate range, and her decision making is pretty good. So she's going to be pretty special.
Iowa fans are excited about her. Iowa fans are always excited about Hannah Stokey. She's up in Chicago, I think, right now. How good can she be? And I don't mean this disrespectfully, can she take that next step and become, I mean, she's really good already, all Big Ten and everything else, but can she take that next step as a player this year at the University of Iowa?
Absolutely. I think with just players, and even from my experience, it's like the light bulb comes on, at some point, especially when you hit that junior, senior year. And I think the biggest confidence boost for her was winning gold at USA. And she didn't just win it by being a role player. She won it being a true factor with with women she's going to probably meet in the NCAA tournament and be able to hold her own. So when she came back, she was a pretty different player. She could have took a couple weeks off. She came right back into practice. And she sets the tone for how hard we play. She goes hard, so it's the other ones are looking at her like, what's my excuse? And I think her leadership by example, by experience, is going to lead us a long way, and that's going to help her with her confidence and her stepping into that alpha female role for us.
You have someone Iowa fans know in Hannah. Somebody Iowa fans really want to get to know is Addie Deal. What has she been like on campus? What have you seen from her in practice? I think the expectations are really high, and every coach I talk to, everybody around the program kind of smiles when we bring her name up. What have you seen from Addie Deal?
You see just youthfulness. I mean, she's full of talent. She can go get a bucket. She really can. But you're seeing her right now, she's a sponge. And I think her excitement when we get into playing is going to be there. She's a kid that anything you tell her, she's soaking it all in. And her ability to score in transition, one-on-one, and even off ball screens is going to really help us on the perimeter.
Coach, you look at expectations for this team, and I think there's a buzz still around the University of Iowa, which is fantastic. It ain't going anywhere anytime soon. And you're coming to a place where we just sell out the building. How cool is it? Yeah. I guess I'll start there. How cool is it to get here and know that every time you go into that arena, there's going to be 15-5 ready to scream for the Hawkeyes?
I'm so excited. I hate I missed the FIBA Brazil game because it was when I just got here and I had vacation and everybody raved about seeing it from a fan perspective. You see it on TV, but I don't know if I for sure can, grasp it until we tip off. But I think that's exciting. I think that has a lot to do with how true the fan base is, and you do not get that anywhere. And I tell you, that's one of our biggest sales in recruiting. Nobody wants to play in an empty gym. So hearing that our fans have sold out for consecutive years in a row, I mean, things like that we use in recruiting, and that's why these players like Addie Deal and Chit Chat want to come here.
I want to talk to you about recruiting. And I know every time I do these interviews, my other media friends are like, don't ask them stupid questions. They can't talk about certain people, certain time, all those kind of things. So I don't want to get you in trouble, but big picture wise, it's been an exciting time for the University of Iowa. What's the philosophy of recruiting right now at Iowa? Because not that there's not great players in this state, and that's obviously a priority and something you want to check a box with as well, but it feels like it's a bigger platform, maybe a bigger sample size. Can you talk about a philosophy right now when it comes to Iowa women's basketball and recruiting?
Yeah, I mean, we want to go out there to the best players on the national stage. And what that does is it just helps us be in that contending for that national championship, which is where we were just a few years ago. And then you parallel that with really good regional kids, really good Iowa kids. I think that makes the mark of us holding true to who we are, as a program, but also being able to attract outside of our region. And I said this, it was a lot of people know Iowa, for Caitlin Clark outside because of that huge stage that we were on just a couple of years ago, and it makes people it made me attracted to Iowa. So recruiting has been really, really good. I walk in with this Iowa on, and I'm telling you, you turn heads. It's a good, really good feeling because you're building something special. But we still stay true to the type of kids we want. High motor, high intensity, high IQ, and high skilled players. So, and also players that fit the system and fit this university as well.
Coach, they say shooting is contagious. You probably know that. I don't know it, I guess. I don't really ever experience too much, but is recruiting contagious where when it gets rolling in the right direction, there's like that vibe that you get maybe when you're on a basketball court and that hoop looks really, really big?
Yeah. It is. It's like it could be a domino effect at times. And that's what we're looking forward to here in these next couple weeks. And I can't speak on too much, but recruiting can be really good because you want to get like-minded players that want to be a part of something special, but they also want to join those special players as well. A lot of these recruits play in these McDonald's games and they play with USA basketball, and they know who they want to play with and who they don't want to play with. And when you have a program like Iowa, the way we push our social media, our fan base, the excitement around it, all the perks that come, that's a huge sale, and it makes my job easy.
Absolutely. Lasondra Barrett joining me right now and Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Coach, I want to talk to you about Jan Jansen a little more because her energy is contagious. And I think that's what you saw probably, and that's what the fan base sees. Can you talk about working with her every single day? I watch her and I get tired because she's so energetic, and is that what you see, what you get with Coach Jensen, that she's just energy and personality and all those kind of things as well?
Absolutely. I think that was, again, my attraction and our connection. She shows up every day the same person. And a lot of head coaches sometimes get caught up in, the job and the business. And, it may not be a fun work environment. Coach Jensen, demands from us, but she also makes it really fun to work with her and work for her. I think her as a person, even though like she's from Iowa, we are age difference, color difference, we connected on so many levels. And I think that was our attraction in our first couple conversations. I'm like, I feel like we live the same life in some ways, and it's on some personal level. So she's a person's person. Like she means well. She knows what she wants, and it's been a joy to work with her. So I'm a ride with her. So far it's been great.
Coach, before I let you go, I want to do some fun questions with you. You're trying to get to know this team. They're trying to get to know you. I'm going to find out how much you've learned about this team. Who's the best dancer on the team?
Probably Kanice Johnson.
Oh, that was a quick answer. And you know that because?
because she's always dancing. There's always a TikTok battle. We could be stretching and she's doing some kind of move. We could be doing team bonding. I mean, I never see her stop dancing. So I'm going with Kenise Johnson.
Is there the best singer on the team? Or
Singer.
least bad? I don't know if that's a nice way to put it.
I think I'm gonna give best singer to Callie. I don't know. She's always got a tune going on. Callie Levine. She's always kind of singing when we got the speaker going. I don't know if the pitch is there, but I'm going with her. I'm going with my girl Callie. Yeah.
I like it. Is there a class clown? And I mean that in the nicest way. Who's the funny player? Who's the one that, always is going to get somebody to laugh or smile when maybe you guys need somebody to laugh or smile a little bit?
Oh, that's a tough one. I might say Jada. I'm gonna give that to Jada. Jada has her little her quirky phrases and little things. She gets everybody going. I think she probably jokes with a couple of them, especially our younger ones a lot. So I'm gonna give that one to Jada.
I love it. I don't know if you know this. You mentioned your neighbor bringing you food. If you had to have one player cook you food for the entire week, is there a chef on the team? Is there somebody that's always doing some food stuff or no?
Yeah, I think it's a couple of them. I think I would probably trust Hannah.
Okay.
I would trust Hannah. Hannah tells me certain things she'll make, and we talk about food. So I think I'm gonna give that one to Hannah Soki. Yeah.
I like it. A few more. If you could have dinner with one person in this entire world, doesn't matter, whoever you wanted to be, who would it be and why?
Oh. I would probably say Michael Jordan. I think you never really hear him on a lot of these podcasts. You hear all these other guys, but he's one that kind of plays the back seat. But I think he has probably so much experience and so much. And I was a huge '90s NBA '90s and early 2000s fan, and I was a huge Michael Jordan fan as well. So I'll go with MJ.
Okay, Coach, you're still young. You're not old like me, but you're smart enough to know it's MJ over LeBron, right? Like, are you?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you have to yell at some of these kids sometime? I mean, does that come up? Because I get cranky with them.
Yeah, I do. I have a couple of little cousins that they are in this era where they don't know what they don't know. And I just hold that to them. It's their generation, but it is MJ all day. That's number one.
I feel like it's my responsibility to educate them. I really do. Like my kids who haven't seen it. I'm like, I know that's really good, but let me show you a few things. And they usually are impressed. Last one for you. I know you are a fantastic basketball player at LSU, professionally, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to take basketball away and you have to play another sport. Is there another sport that you would have thrived at or you would have been good at?
I think if I would have given it the same time and practice, tennis. I actually really enjoyed tennis. Yeah, my mom got me and my sister playing maybe in like elementary, middle school, and she was trying to introduce us to it, and she would play on club teams. And so I think tennis is because it's a challenging sport. It has the same. It's just you by yourself. You have no teammates, no one to blame. But it's a mental sport. So I think if I would have given it the time, I'm gonna go with tennis.
I love it. I love to see that as well, Coach. Before I let you go, just this season coming around the corner, how excited are you guys? This team. I know practice is practice, and after a while, you want to go see how you are against other people. What's the energy level like? And I'm sure it's got to be really exciting this time of year. Is this season going to be here real fast?
Yeah. Well, we just played our first scrimmage against our gray squad, which is our male practice players, yesterday, and being able to see different lineups. But we're excited as a staff. We're just kind of really, focusing in on things we need to work on, things we need to polish up, and just things we need to add within these next couple weeks. And then hopefully we can see some separation from some groups and some people can really battle out. And really, we have so much depth. You really can do a lot with our entire roster. So I think that's our biggest focus right now, but the excitement is there. I know they're ready to play someone else. They're probably tired of breakdown and practicing too. So it'll be good when we get in our scrimmage this weekend with another team, and then we'll get started here pretty soon.
Coach, you're an Atlanta girl. Are you ready for the winter? Like, you've been around it a little bit, right?
Yeah, a little bit. From the South. Yeah, Atlanta got a little cold, but I don't know if I'm ready.
What's a little cold?
Maybe 30s.
No, you wait till that first 0-degree day.
I know. So I got my snow removal with my neighborhood. I mean, I think I'm there, but I don't know until I get there. And so I want you to ask me this question probably in January, and I may have another answer.
I will. That's a good follow-up question. Hey, Coach, I appreciate your time. This has been fantastic. We're going to be in Iowa City next week for the media day on Tuesday. I'll track you down then and say hi and meet you in person. But I really appreciate your time. As always, go Hawks.
Go Hawks. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.
All right. That is Coach Lasondra Barrett with the Iowa women's basketball program. A fantastic interview. Everybody told me that. They're like, she's as personable and as fun as they come, and you could see it there. And she knows basketball. She knows recruiting as well. So I didn't want to get her in trouble, but I think I did a good job of getting the vibe for recruiting. And obviously everybody knows it was just last week Iowa picked up a huge commitment as well. So, and hopefully more on that to come in the near future. We got a lot more to get to. We're just warming up. Up next, after the break, we will kind of go to the high school football level and talk about the TRAC. It's week 7 of the high school football season. Our guy, Ty Taylor from WRMJ, is next. You're watching Off the Air with Matt Randazzo on a Wednesday right here in the Quad Cities. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo. Now even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Rafferty Funeral Home, dedicated to serving families in the Quad Cities since 2007.
Hi, welcome. Here, come on in.
An experienced staff plans each service to reflect the unique life and legacy of your loved one. Rafferty Funeral Home is proud to serve our community with dignity, respect, and compassion, helping you to celebrate your traditions and lasting memories no matter your faith, culture, or budget. Rafferty Funeral Home in Moline. Call today to discuss prearrangements.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Wednesday in the Quad Cities. Week 7 of the high school football season nearly upon us. It comes our way Friday night. And if it's Wednesday and we're talking high school football, it's become a tradition, except for maybe last week. I think you were Thursday last week. But let's not worry about it. Ty Taylor's here. Everything's good with the world, I should say. Happy Wednesday, my friend.
Hey, happy Wednesday, man. And except I think it was 2 weeks ago, maybe. And next week, I think it sounds like we're going to be doing this on Thursday, too. So yeah. I suppose I'm not as big of enough deal that you can't like Sharpie me in for Wednesdays. But I suppose a pencil's okay for now. I got something to look forward to next year, maybe, to try to work and get better to make it a permanent slot.
Yeah, there you go. It's pretty solid, though. What are we, week 7? And we're 5 of 7? That's not 6 or 7. That's not too bad. Yeah, and I was telling you before.
Don't say that.
I know.
You can get the kids going crazy.
I know. Oh, geez. Wait till the next segment. We recorded the next segment for Ness Guess. And if you want to see Marc Nesseler say 6'7", and actually do it, it's coming. Stay tuned. It's a great tease. If you want to see that, stay tuned. So, yeah, and like you did mention, next week we'll be live at Carver Hawkeye on Tuesday and Wednesday, so I'm already moving things around, and so Ty will be here on Thursday. But first things first, Week 7 coming up on Friday. Before we look ahead, let's look back at Week 6, and I think the best game was Riverdale Erie Prophetstown. I will point out it's one that you picked incorrectly, and we talked to Tyler Whitebread about that on the show earlier this week. But a really good football game between two teams looking to make the playoffs. And Ty, I think they're both playoff teams. They're both sitting at 4 wins. A rivalry game, good game. Somebody had to win, somebody had to lose. But I think both teams have a lot to look forward to moving forward.
Yeah, it was a fantastic game, and Erie Prophetstown, I know, really jumped out to a lead in that game, and Riverdale rallied and I think got back and actually took the lead in the third quarter, one point by a point, 30-29, and then Erie Prophetstown scored a couple of touchdowns to pull away, it felt like, and then Riverdale scored to get within one score, got a stop, got the ball back, and actually had a chance from about the 25-yard line to, score a touchdown to tie the game or potentially win it with a PAT. Pass was knocked incomplete, so Erie Prophetstown escapes with that win. And yeah, it's a huge win for the Panthers because I think coming into last week, Riverdale had a much clearer path to the postseason than Erie Prophetstown because they still have games against Hall and Sherrard, which I expect them to win 8-9. For Erie Prophetstown, though, they have, I think, somewhat of a challenging game against Orion this week, which we'll talk about. They still have to play Princeton, too, so for them to get their 4th win in a game that was really tight against a really good opponent in Riverdale, I mean, you can't really overstate how important that was. And with both of those teams now at 4 wins, I think that, like you said, Erie Prophetstown and Riverdale are both, I think definitely playoff teams this year, and both teams that absolutely can win a game in the 2A playoffs, I think, on, if they get a good draw or not. But yeah, a really big win for Erie Prophetstown. I do want to point out that it wasn't just me. Greg and Mitch also picked that game wrong too.
You sound like one of my kids that got in trouble, and they're like, it wasn't just me. My brothers were doing it too. Yes, you're all in trouble, Ty. You were all in trouble. Well, let's look ahead to this week, and it's a week where some of the teams we kind of expect to win a division championship get a chance to do just that. We'll start with Rock Ridge, the 2nd-ranked team in the state, playing really good football. They were, and you were there, I think last Friday, against Orion. They were impressive last week. They get another rival this week. They head down to Mercer County and to Aledo, to your neck of the woods. Your thoughts on that game, and then just Rock Ridge in general, continuing to impress.
Well, there's always excitement when Rock Ridge and Mercer County play, and with Mercer County getting in the TRAC last year, they've actually developed a traveling trophy that they play for, which is really cool. They call it the County Line Clash. They debuted it last year. Rock Ridge won it, so they'll bring that trophy to Aledo. Of course, they want to take it back to Edgington after the game on Friday night. And it's cool, too, because maybe this game, in terms of the teams on the field, doesn't have a whole lot of hype because of the way the seasons have gone for Rock Ridge and Mercer County respectively. But if you can believe it, this is the first time that Rock Ridge has played in Aledo in football since 2013. 12 years. They played in the playoffs that year in the 2nd round in a game that was double overtime. Mercer County won, maybe one of the greatest games ever played, like in this area. I know the programs have played for a state championship before, if you can believe that too, all the way back in 1998. So there's always hype, I think, with that aspect of it, though, in terms of the actual game in 2025. Of course, Rock Ridge is a heavy favorite, and I expect them to win this game, pretty easily, pretty quickly, put it away, just with the difference in terms of, like I said, the way the years have gone, kind of talent on the field, and just kind of overall vibe for both programs. Rock Ridge, I think, should probably roll this week without much issue. And to win a division championship, I think it would be their 3rd in the last 4 years. Against that last year, that loss to Newman, but we're able to avenge that this year. So definitely still playing for a lot, both in terms of trying to win the title and then also, playoff seeding. You can never win too many games in the regular season or try to set yourself up well.
When you got to see Rock Ridge firsthand last week, and I think, did you get to the Rock Ridge Newman game? I can't remember if you did or didn't.
No, I was not at that
Okay,
one.
so that was your first time seeing them. Your thoughts on seeing them firsthand, and there's a number 2 ranking next to their name, and rightfully so. Undefeated, some would say they're probably maybe might deserve a number 1 ranking. Is seeing believe? You've seen a lot of Rock Ridge teams. How good is this team?
Yeah, this team they are fantastic. And one of the things Coach Filler said in our post game on Friday night after, Orion played him is he goes, you see that team on film, you watch them play in person up close from the sideline. They are absolutely worthy of the number 2 ranking in the state. And I agree with them. I mean, and I said it on View from the West on Friday night. And it's a team that I think is a semifinalist. You can't say for sure because there are a lot of good teams in playoffs, but I really think that Rock Ridge is a team that if they win a state championship this year, I would not be that surprised. I mean, the way they've been able to, and it's not just specific to this year, but year over year, the program replaces great players, and they always find a kid to plug in and, play in that spot and produce to a similar level, where they lost 2 All-Staters last year in Landon Bull and Jude Finch. And as crazy as it sounds, their defense this year might be better than it was last year. They got Ryan Lower back from an ACL tear, and he is a monster. I mean, he is one of the best small school defensive players you'll see. Cullen Schweigen is playing defense this year. He's a tremendous defender. And then their defensive linemen, Tanner McKegg and Tanner Dye and Levi Junis, they were, bringing 3 to the quarterback against Orion on Friday, putting 8 in coverage and getting to the quarterback in 2 or 3 seconds. It felt like every play. So they set the line of scrimmage so well, and offensively too. I mean, we knew they were going to be really strong with Schweigen and all of the host of, the Steel Boys and Chase Wheatley and Towards and Dye in the backfield. That they are just really good, really complete. Don't really see a weakness. Coach Graves, kind of question what their offensive line was going to be like coming into the year. They've passed that test with flying colors so far. Now they'll have a big test, up front against Monmouth Roseville next week. But yeah, like I said, to circle back to what I said at the beginning, this team is a state championship contender without a doubt, and I'm really excited, to follow them in the postseason because it could be, a pretty special run through, hopefully November.
It's been a while since our area, and I don't. No disrespect to the NUIC. I say that in the Quad City area when it comes to my old viewing area, if that makes sense. I guess my viewing area is everywhere now, but when it comes to our Quad City viewing area, we haven't had a team in the state championship games in quite a while. So I think it was before COVID, probably before we had to go down and cover a game in the state championship. So obviously Rock Ridge could be one of those teams. You mentioned a matchup next week. We'll talk all about next week when it comes to Monmouth Roseville and Rock Ridge in Edgington. Should be a fantastic game. But when you look at that, Monmouth Roseville has a chance to do the same thing that Rock Ridge does. They welcome a Hall team that had won 3 straight. They lost last week to Princeton in a game closer than the final score was. I fully expect Monmouth Roseville to win on Friday night and to clinch that division. Can Hall make it an interesting night in Monmouth before all said and done?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think so, really. I mean, I just think Monmouth Roseville is so good. And I think definitely there are a top 2 in the conference, in both divisions from the 12 teams, and it's Rock Ridge and it's Monmouth Roseville. I think they're both, better than the rest of the 10 teams. So I don't think it'll be that competitive. I just think Monmouth Roseville's advantage up front is so overwhelming against most teams, especially, Hall's a team that likes to run the ball, I know, and I just don't see them being able to consistently move the ball against Monmouth Roseville because, as we've talked about throughout the year, it's just a wave of guys up front that are so big and so strong and physical and fast, and they get to the ball so well. And then offensively, their running backs, I think, have impressed more than we thought coming into the year with the loss of All-Stater last year and Peyton Thompson. All 3 of their main guys that run the ball have had, fantastic years. And up front, every week they just get off the ball and just dominate, it feels like, from the opening kickoff to the final whistle. So I fully expect Monmouth Roseville to roll this week, kind of like what I was talking about with Rock Ridge against Mercer County, which should set up 7-0 versus 7-0 next week in Edgington. Boy, that'll be a fun one between a pair of local rivals, Rockridge and Monmouth Roseville, both undefeated. I can't wait for week 8 already, man.
Oh, man. I want to talk about it now because I want to make you pick somebody. I'm not going to. I don't want people hating you for 2 weeks. I just want them to hate you for one.
Just let them hate me for a day or so. That's why I posted. That's how we do that on Friday morning. So it only gives people a day to get all mad at me and then probably prove me wrong more often than not.
Yeah, no, it should be a fantastic football game from two teams that, can do a lot of good things in the postseason as well. Maybe the best matchup of the night, and I don't know how, is maybe Riverdale Newman. I mean, Riverdale coming off that loss. Newman, you saw them firsthand. They looked really good. They're one of the best teams in 1A still. Riverdale still looking for that victory, that fifth victory. I know there's other games down the stretch that give them that possibility to get that. Can Riverdale hang with Newman at home? Port Byron, Brian Stocking lives down the street. Like, is that magic enough on Friday to make that a good game on Friday?
Yeah, they need some of the Stocking magic, not all of it. I think they can hang around with Newman. Like, I don't think Newman's just going to roll them off the field. But I do think Newman probably will win that game just because of, like you were talking about, I got the chance to see Newman and their defense is just so strong. They don't necessarily have like a overly impressive like athlete who jumps off the field when you watch them, but they're just so good as a unit. They move together. They get, multiple guys to the ball carrier. So I do expect Newman to win the game. But like you said, and like I touched on earlier too, Riverdale has winnable games in weeks 8 and 9 against Holland, Sherrard. So if they're able to take care of those, and if they do fall this week, 6-3 is still a good year and sets you up, with a decent matchup likely in the playoffs. And Newman, same way, I think they expect to be in the 1A playoffs probably. Now they're kind of on the border between 1A and 2A, but when you're in the 1A North, that all those NUIC teams who you mentioned earlier, like Lena Winslow and Stockton and Galena and all those, really high level 1A schools are in that field. So you want to try to give yourself the best chance of avoiding having to play a Lena Winslow or a Stockton right away. And as long as you can keep away from them, the better, of course. So, Newman at 5-1, they still have a tough game in week 9 waiting with Monmouth Roseville. I think they have Kewanee in week 8. So, for them, want to be sure to get the win to at least hopefully be able to go 7-2 if you're not able to pull what I would consider an upset against Monmouth Roseville in week 9.
Yeah, you look at it too for Riverdale. Winnable games after this one. I think they will make it a good game. I think they'll bounce back nicely from last week's loss. And it's just fascinating because that defense is so good, and Riverdale's going to want to run the football. So, I got to see Riverdale a couple weeks ago against Orion, and I think they ran for 400 and some yards. It was super impressive. So it'll be a matchup of strength versus strength with Riverdale and Newman coming up on Friday night. Erie Prophetstown, we talked about them at the top, got that signature victory. They're now at 4 wins. They can get to 5 wins against an Orion team that needs a victory in the biggest way possible. One of the best players in the entire conference, both sides of the football and special teams, is Owen Voorhees. He's questionable, got injured last week. Good matchup if healthy. Erie Prophetstown has a chance to get to that 5th victory already. Should be a good one in Orion.
Yeah, it should be. Orion has a lot to play for. Like you said, backs against the wall at 2-4. And it's unfortunate with Voorhees because, as you said, he's a tremendous player. One of the best players in the area, probably one of the best, wide receiving threats in the whole state at the 2A level for sure. And I was kind of talking with Coach Filler going into the game against Rock Ridge, and I basically said to him, man, just as long as, Kale, Filler, and Voorhees can make it through this week, I think you got a chance. And then, of course, the first time that Voorhees touches the ball, he gets rolled up on, and, he tried to come back in. They taped up the ankle. He caught another pass and he tried to jump, couldn't jump, had to limp off the field, didn't come back in the game. And it's really hard to see them winning this game without him playing because he is so dynamic and so much of what they do goes through him where, I know it'll be a real challenge for Coach Filler and his whole staff and the kids too in a week to be able to, get everybody else up to speed. Okay, now this is what we're going to do on offense without Owen being able to play. So I really hope that he can play. Like you said, I think it's probably questionable at best if he's able to go Friday. And it is unfortunate because him and Cale have been so fun to watch play together that if he's, not able to complete the senior season because of an injury, it would be really too bad because they are such a fun duo to watch. But Orion will, definitely be playing hard. Like we talked about, there's a lot for them to play for. I hope that Owen can play because, again, I think that game, if he does play and is close to 100%, that has the potential to be a really competitive game with, both teams still playing for a lot. And I think that adds to it too. So best wishes, of course, to Owen Voorhees because, like I said, he's been so fun to follow and cover. So hopefully he can go on Friday.
No, absolutely. And you look at Erie Prophetstown, wondering how they, I won't say bounce back because they won, but how they move on after an emotional victory and a big victory over Riverdale. And they go to Orion, a big game there. When we talked with Tyler Whitebread earlier this week, go check that out on Monday. It's about refocusing and getting his kids back ready to go again this week. I'm sure he'll have them ready to do just that. Sherrard and Kewanee. One of the games that obviously record-wise doesn't pop out at you, but we talked about Sherrard a couple times this year against, Mendota and Hall and having an opportunity to maybe win some games, and they were close in some games. And you didn't look at the beginning of the year at Kewanee and think, well, maybe that's a game. A winnable game for Sherrard, and Kewanee needs a victory as well.
Yeah, both teams 0-6, and we've talked about Sherrard a little bit this year. And I think I said either last week or 2 weeks ago, just with the unfortunate way the year has gone for Sherrard, where of course there was the game they had to forfeit because they had a bunch of kids hurt and a bunch of kids sick in week 3 going into that game against Princeton. And week 2, they're playing Mercer County, who I thought they had a chance to beat, and Carter Brown gets hurt in the first quarter of that game, kind of takes their chances away from winning that game. I said it, and I believe it, that I think if he doesn't get hurt, they probably beat Mercer County that week. And then you have the weird, ejection that happens to Carter on the kickoff return, where he's carrying the ball, stiff arms a kid, and gets thrown out of the game, where they're leading against Hall, not able to hold on. That game. Then he can't play the first 3 quarters against Mendota. They're tight, lose by 4 points. Where I think if he's available for all 4 quarters in both those games, you're talking about potentially a team that has 3 wins coming into this week. Because I think they probably win both of those games as well. I think they're probably favored this week against Kewanee. If they win that game, all of a sudden there's 4. Yeah. And then you look in week 8 and you might be playing an Orion team without Owen Voorhees. And oh my gosh, this team might somehow have been able to win 5 games. But it's, what's happened has happened. But you have to give credit to those kids because it's been a long time since Sherrard has had win-loss success in football. And really there hasn't been a lot of excitement around that program. It doesn't feel like where they've been really solid in basically every other sport. But, week in and week out, those kids play really, really hard. And they show up every day and work even in despite of the crazy adversity they've had to face this year. And something that I talked about with Sherrard head coach Dan McGuire on Saturday is he really felt like they lost to Monmouth Rose, I think 49-13 last week, but it was 28-13 in the third quarter. And he said he felt like it was the best 4-quarter effort they had all week or all season, I should say. Played really hard, competed with a great team. And of course, the talent and the depth is going to win out in the end over 48 minutes of the game. But I do think Sherrard has a chance to pick up a win. It would be really nice for those kids to be able to do so because, like I said, they certainly deserve a little bit of positivity with all of the challenges they've had to try to overcome this year.
Ty Taylor from WRMJ joining us. I'll give you a few more before I let you go. When we look here now, 2/3 of the way through the season, and you look at special players around this conference, I'm not asking you to pick a player of the year or anything, but talk about some of the best players you've seen individually. We'll do the player of the year stuff, and View from the West does that stuff way better than I do. So who are some of the best individual performances that you've gotten to see through 2/3 of the season?
So in person for me, for sure, Colin Schweigen. I mean, he is unbelievable. I mean, he's scored 24 touchdowns already this season, and that's in 6 games. He set the single season program record for Rock Ridge last year with 32. So, barring anything unfortunate, he should be able to break and likely shatter that record this year. So he definitely sticks out. I mentioned Ryan Lower earlier. He plays linebacker for Rock Ridge, and he's an offensive lineman. You really will be hard-pressed to find a better, more fast and physical linebacker than him. I mean, he is a fantastic player. And I guess I'm related to him, so maybe I'm a little biased too.
I was going to say that, but I was going to let it slide.
He is such a great player and fun player to watch. Nick Houston for Monmouth Roseville is another one. He's similar to Lower at linebacker, where he just runs to the ball, gets to the ball, punishes you, violently tackles you, and makes you not want to run the ball up the middle against them. And he's a really hard and good running back too. He's also really big. He's probably 6'1". I don't know what he weighs, probably 210, 215. I mean, he's a big kid that moves really well. And I think he's a really fun player to watch too. We mentioned Kale Filler and Owen Voorhees at Orion, both really great players that have such a great connection. Those are two that really stick out as well to me that I've seen in person so far this year. Now, I haven't seen Princeton yet, but I know Casey Etheridge. I saw him last year and the year before that. He's a great player that on both sides of the ball has done a ton for Princeton forever. It feels like I saw he became the all-time leading rusher in county history this past week too. So those guys are really good. And then Newman just has a group of players. Matthew Blackert is a fantastic player for them as a junior. I mean, against Mercer County on Saturday, he scored a rushing touchdown. He returned a fumble for a touchdown, and he returned a punt for a touchdown. I think he also forced a fumble that was returned for a touchdown as well in that game. So he's a really good player, on all sides of the ball as well. So I think those are kind of the kids that probably stick out the most for me that I've seen in person this year. But there are certainly a lot more really good players in the league than that. And then I think Riverdale too, I want to mention their two running backs, Kane Beckett and Gage Heinsohn. They really complement each other well and are both, really good playmakers for them. And they've played a lot of downs for Riverdale. Coach Diericks, basically said, they've kind of been the heartbeat of this program for 3 years. Basically, they were both starting as sophomores the year after they came back from having to cancel the season. So those two kids were really impressive when I got the chance to see them against Mercer County this year too.
No, absolutely. Ty, before we let you go, WRMJ is the place to be for track football. What's it look like this week? Where are you going to be? I think people are coming to you. I think you get the Rockets once again. What's the lineup on the old power station that is WRMJ?
I don't know if I'd go that far, but we have Mercer County hosting Rock Ridge, County Line Clash, the trophy on the line Friday night. We also have Sherrard at Kewanee, which we talked about, and an Orion at home against Erie Prophetstown. So 3 broadcasts along our airwaves this weekend. Looking forward to all of them. Each have, certainly a different thing that makes them intriguing. So another fun week. It's hard to believe that, 2/3 of the way through the regular season already. And after this week, we only got 2 more regular season weeks left. Crazy, man.
It's wild. Of course, make sure you check out the games on WRMJ. We'll talk all about it on the Instant Reacts podcast coming up after the show, or that night at 10:15 with Greg and Mitch and all those knuckleheads as well. And make sure you book yourself for next Thursday. Make sure you Sharpie that thing in for Thursday. We'll talk to you next Thursday because we might talk about Monmouth, Roseville, and Rock Ridge. We might. I'm not sure. Hey, is the trophy cool? If you're going to do it, I like trophy games. I respect it. I think it's needed. Did they do it justice? They didn't get some bad trophy, did they?
No, it's a nice trophy. I think they did a pretty good job on that. And I know, right when Mercer County got into the track, Mercer County's athletic director, Dustin Murray, was really gung-ho about it. He's like, I want to make this a trophy game. So he was really the kind of put the wheels in motion for it. And I think Rockridge was on board right away. So yeah, it's a good trophy. And I know it's kind of funny because on the plating, there's the 2 helmets coming together. And Coach Graves made a joke last year because he hadn't seen it, obviously, until they won it, really, because I think Mercer County had it because they were the ones who had it, made. The helmets come together, and there's a crack on the Rock Ridge helmet, but not on the Mercer County helmet. So there's a joke about that. He's like, I don't know why they put a crack on our helmet. So, but yeah, the trophy is pretty cool, and it's a lot of fun. So yeah, hopefully everybody listens to View from the West Friday too. We got the chance to talk about the zoo and camels on this past Friday night. Now, I think there should be a day in the off season, and maybe when we get to the spring, that me, you, Greg, we got to get Mitch from Ohio and Stocking to the Miami Zoo for a day out.
I don't know what sounds worse, me taking my 4 kids to the zoo or me taking you 4 guys to the zoo. I think I'd be better off taking my kids. And my kids are getting older, so it's okay. But like even younger, I want to think back to like when I had a 1-year-old, 3-year-old, 5-year-old, and 8-year-old, whatever they would have been. I would rather do that again than take you idiots to the zoo. But I'm in. If we're doing it, I'm in. So I appreciate you, Ty. Have a good call in the games on Friday. We'll talk to you again next week.
All right, sounds good. We'll see you on Thursday, everybody.
All right, I love it. Ty Taylor from WRMJ talking track football. One of the best conferences in our area and one of the best teams in the state is Rock Ridge. They're one of the games this week we'll keep an eye on. Most likely heading to Riverdale on Friday for the off-the-air score or on the road coming up. On Friday as well. So we got more to get to. I mentioned to Ty, a little tease. We have Marc Nesseler next with our Ness Guess from Hungry Hobo, and 6'7" is involved, and my kids were laughing the entire time. They loved it. So all of that and much more as we continue a Wednesday edition of Off the Air. We'll be right back. Are you looking to take your next party, tailgate, or golf outing to the next level? You need Mobile Party Experience. MPX features 3 top-of-the-line party trailers equipped with all the amenities you need to party like a rock star. Smart TVs, Yeti coolers, JBL sound systems, grills, bathrooms, and much more. Mobile Party Experience is an experience like no other. Check out my-mpx.com or call 563-514-1470 and book your Mobile Party Experience today. Are you looking to take your next party, tailgate, or golf outing to the next level? You need Mobile Party Experience. MPX features 3 top-of-the-line party trailers equipped with all the amenities you need to party like a rock star. Smart TVs, Yeti coolers, JBL sound systems, grills, bathrooms, and much more. Mobile Party Experience is an experience like no other. Check out my-mpx.com or call 563-514-1470 and book your Mobile Party Experience today. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Wednesday in the Quad Cities. Wednesday means Ness Guess. We're once again at Hungry Hobo in Rock Island. We're back out and about. We were here last week.
Away from home.
We were here last week, but we don't want to talk about what happened.
Yeah.
We'll let that go.
We had a glitch.
It's working this time, so we're
right,
good to go.
good.
But obviously, we want to thank Hungry Hobo. Ness Guess is back. If anyone who's watching this doesn't know what we're talking about, this is Marc Nesseler, longtime sports editor, sports guru, sports legend. Am I getting it right?
Yeah,
He's
thanks.
kicking my butt right now,
Thanks.
so I have to be as nice as I can. He did a Ness Guess contest for 37 years, nearly 4 decades.
Yep.
It's been away for a little bit, and we figured we have to bring it back. We've
And it's
done that
been
this
fun.
year. Everyone's having a blast.
Yep.
So it's really simple. If you're wondering how do you get in after all this kind of fun stuff, all the pics are on my social media and Ness's social media. Go click on it, get the link, fill it out. If you win, you win Hobo.
Some great food.
Yeah, you can win great food from
Yes.
Hobo, and it's nothing to get in. That's the beauty part. No entry fee or anything like that. So sign up and rock and roll. And Ness,
Bragging rights are immense.
yeah, because like I'm bummed, Ness, because it was was it 2 weeks ago I was within 1?
Yeah, within 1. Yeah.
And then you can
And
tell them what we did this week.
I pulled off the Miracle. I'm wearing the Miracle hat, Fort Myers Miracle, and they're not the Miracle anymore. They're the Mighty Muscles.
Really?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I mean, if you got the Miracle hat, you got the Miracle team. You pull off a miracle every game.
Ugh.
Not anymore. So anyway, I went 11-7. You went 8-10. But again, the colleges were really good to me. I went 5-0. I'm proud of my college slate so far. You went 3-2, but man, that NFL was harsh.
Yes.
Hard. You were 5-8. I was 6 and 7, 6, 7 for all my junior high followers out there.
My
See,
kids are gonna love
your
that.
kid loves it over
I
here
know
right
it.
now.
He's loving
He's
it.
giving me some 6,
I don't
7.
even understand it still.
Huh?
I don't even understand it still.
I know it. I'm hoping that the more I do it, the more adults do it, the more my teaching staff does it, the more
less
kids
kids
will
will-
say, "Oh, let's do something else."
Yep. If
So I'm
Ness is
hoping-
doing it, it's not cool, guys.
It's not cool, so just get away from it.
Yeah. So I'm 8 and 10. Like I pride myself off of, and we've been good this year.
Yeah, we really have.
And we can't be like the experts
Yeah,
and be going, I can't do 8. So
No.
what does that put you? You're up 3.
I'm up 6 now.
Up 6
I'm
now.
up
I was going to say
6
3
now,
plus.
yeah.
So
Like,
the
It's too early to get a magic number because we still have.
I hope so. Take it. I hope the Ness Guess gods heard that. Like that was
harsh.
That was
I'm
harsh.
sorry.
So that's the.
I'm sorry.
The loser will take a pie in the face from the
Yeah.
winner. We used to do it back in the
I'm
day.
gonna lose all 6
There's
this
probably
week.
2 years in a row, but for some reason it was 2 years but 3 pies.
Yeah.
I don't understand that, but I
Oh,
took.
the math doesn't
so
add
the
up
loser
there.
will take a pie in the face. We'll do it on off the air. It'll be a bunch of fun.
It'll be good.
But we have winners besides us because
Well,
we're not really. If I'm 8 and 10, I'm not a winner. You win 11 and 7. We've got familiar names and a winner to talk about this week as well.
Yeah. By the way, I've won 4 out of 5 weeks now, and if we want to go that route,
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
I don't know it either way.
There's going to come to a point where I'm gonna call the election.
Thing is, I feel like I'm like my picks. I'm so confident in them.
Oh, and you're right there. I mean, every
The
week.
games.
Oh, the games have just been crazy.
So-
and they've been super close, and I'm super nervous every Saturday and every Sunday.
Which is
And
good.
I know, and I tell my wife, I just can't lose to Dazzo. I just can't lose to
Well,
Dazzo.
you're not. Trust
So-
me. Well, here's the thing too. So like this week, college-wise, you got off to a better start. You had
Yeah.
Iowa State.
Well, it's 2 weeks
Or you
in a
had
row.
Cincinnati. I had Iowa State.
2 weeks in a row.
What
I
was
got
the other game? Oh, the Miami game.
Miami, Florida
I
State.
liked Florida State. I thought,
Yeah.
and they came back a little bit late. I don't know if
Yeah.
you stayed up to watch
well,
that.
and Iowa State came back too.
Yeah. So
But the Bucks in overtime, the Vikings on the last play.
I had the Browns.
That was a church game.
Yep.
We got another church game this week. Sorry, Pastor. But our winner was Daphne. I think it's Ganal, Ganahl. I'm going to pronounce it Ganal. I tried to call her, and
See,
I got
he
your
just spelled
voicemail.
it. He's a typical newspaper guy. He just spelled it because that's all they have to do is spell it correctly.
All we got to do is spell
We got to
it.
say
Yeah,
it correctly.
Exactly. But she went 13 and 5, so she was 2 better than me.
Yeah.
And we had 6 entrants who were 12 and 6. So there were only 7 people better than I did. So I
Yeah.
feel pretty good about that. But listen to these names. These are Ness Guess names. I'm telling you. Karen Stocking, who I think is the mom.
That's Brian Stocking's
Brian,
mother stockpile.
Mama Stocking. Brian was a perennial every week and often won.
And now mom's better than probably already
love
was.
that. And don't tell me that Brian made her picks for it. I'm not buying that.
No, not at all.
Tim Corwin, who is a junior high teacher at Edison, know him well. Justin Rossler, who is now
Lifelong friend of mine.
who's now the Ness Guess Bridesmaid of the Year.
Because he's always in second.
He's got second at least twice.
Yeah.
At least twice. Lisa Short
That might be my sister.
might be your sister. Might be. That makes the
Trying to make it so family members
rights.
we don't want to
Yeah.
do those kind of things too much.
Keelan Prince,
Yes.
who's Kedrick's kid,
And really good baseball player, really good basketball player, good bass
Yeah.
fisher now. So
golfer too. Does he
Golf-
golf?
yeah, they do it.
I've been seeing pictures out there
Kennedy.
on Facebook. Kennedy's the golfer.
Kennedy's the golfer.
Yeah, Kennedy's
the
the golfer.
hole in one. She had a hole in one.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And Nathan Schroeder
Yes.
is the last one.
And he's a coach up at Alleman.
Wow, there you go. So we got 6 runners up and 1 winner, which didn't need the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
And the tiebreaker was the Monday night game. Right? Yeah.
Monday night game. So
The Chiefs.
and that's the cool thing is you
Okay.
can see a lot of people are close.
Yeah.
That's the fun part is that like each and every week it's like you're gonna be involved. And if you
Yeah.
did it every week, I guarantee you 1 or 2 times you'd definitely be in the running.
I feel like we got robbed on the Jaguars game. Quarterback falls down and scores the winning touchdown. We're going to turn a new week. This is a new week. We're new slate.
See, but like Ness is cranky because he went 11 and 7. You went 11 and 7. I went 8 and 10.
I'm not even going to, no.
I'm refocused. I'm ready to go.
I'm so sorry. I'm so
You're
sorry.
not sorry.
I
That's the
am.
problem.
No, I am.
That's the problem. So once again, and we're going to go through some of the picks this week as well, but once again, we'll keep reminding people, head to our social media,
Yeah.
click the link. We're going to get it out to people as well. They're slowly growing. The entries are slowly growing.
That's what we want.
love that, but we want to really last week you bummed me out. Not bummed me out because I think it's great, but you mentioned the good old days and what you used to get entry-wise.
Oh, yeah. Well, but we had.
But that was the glory days.
and the prize money was bigger. We had sponsor. We had actual we had newspaper sponsors
Yeah, yeah.
chipping in, big money.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll get
So you're
there.
calling? He's calling out price right now. He's like, "Can you give us no?
Bryce, can you?
We need a
No,
party son." So
No, I Price, we appreciate
But
you.
absolutely. And
the
it's
food.
growing. It's
and,
coming
and
back.
I'm telling you what, if I was not here and I was entering, I would want to win that Hungry Hobo
Yes.
tato. I'd get a tato.
yeah. No. You get
Taco
you get a
tater. I
couple
get
of
the
them.
taco tater.
So
you
you
get two?
Yeah, you get a
Oh,
couple.
my wife and I would party for a week.
I have a feeling you guys will still party for a week despite not having any hobo.
Yeah.
But you might get some.
Oh, by the
eventually.
way, next week, I am not going to be in the United States.
Yeah, we got to figure
So
something
we got
out.
to figure something out because I'm gonna be out in the middle of the ocean. I have an internet
Which
package.
would be great. I mean,
I know.
honestly, we might work on that.
poolside.
So I think we do something with your poolside, and then if we can't, we can do it like. Then if it doesn't work, we can maybe you can.
If we do it on
'Cause
Tuesday,
I thought of maybe Dan Burridge, maybe reaching out to
Okay.
Dan Burridge, maybe
Yeah.
do the three of us.
okay, Tuesday is the day that I think we're in Bermuda. It's like the second day of Bermuda. So
We'll be in the Bermuda Triangle.
be in the
It's the only
triangle.
way I can win is for you to go to the Bermuda Triangle and go away.
as a math teacher, I figured I'm doing research. So I'd like to know more about, is it an acute triangle, scalene triangle, and, is it a right triangle?
Yeah.
So maybe a tax write-off.
Nobody thinks about
maybe
that.
a tax write-off.
Maybe nobody thinks about that, but Ness.
Exactly.
So this week's games, we'll start in the college. I
All
think
right.
the college slate
like it.
is outstanding this
and
week.
it's hard.
It's
hard.
really, really
it's
good.
The hardest I think we have.
And we got to start with the number one ranked team in the nation going to Champaign. And it's the Illini who you have a love-hate relationship with.
I do.
Because
Well,
when you pick right now, you're picking them and they're winning.
Huh?
Right now, you're picking them and they're winning. You're getting the game right.
Well, yeah. Well, I got
But for a
one.
while, it was
Yeah, I
like
got
you
one
couldn't get.
right.
Yeah.
I got one right.
So they welcome Ohio State to town. Ohio State number one in the
They
nation.
beat Purdue because does that count?
Yeah, they be well. I mean, it counts in the win column. It's better than a loss.
Counts for my win. Column.
Yes.
right.
So it's number 17 Illinois at home
Yeah,
against
they're
Ohio
home.
State. Thoughts on the game?
Well, again, they hosted USC and won, but I just think this is a step up from that. They're a double-digit underdog, I'm going to go Ohio State because I think I'm on a roll on Illini games. Maybe give me two in a row, and maybe like you'll side with Illinois. Nudge, nudge. You got to make up ground. Got to make up ground.
I do, but it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Right. So I'm going to take the Buckeyes.
Yeah, I just the thing that I didn't realize about Ohio State, and I get a little advantage because we talk about this stuff on the show all the time. But Kat Prince was on earlier this week. Ohio State's giving up 5 points a game. That's it.
Yeah.
5 points a game, and their defense is really good. I worry about the guys up front. Yes, it's the home field advantage, but I think it could get away from Illinois. I hope it doesn't, and I really mean that. Like the local guys, the Cole Rusks, the Matthew Baileys. I love what Brett Bielema was doing, all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. So I hope it's a close game. I'm taking the Buckeyes,
Ohio
and I would
State's-
say it's more of a. I think there's more of a chance of it being a blowout than it is for Illinois winning the game.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But I just saw this like karma as I was coming back from my Hungry Hobo drink. I checked Facebook real quick, and there was a thing that said NFL Rookies of the Year. Ohio State, Ohio State, Ohio
Yeah.
State, Ohio State, Ohio State. It's just a factory.
Yeah,
So,
they're loaded
yeah,
there. So I
yeah.
think we'll agree with that one. Hopefully, I mean, maybe not for Illinois.
We're going
Illinois
to disagree
fans,
on
but
quite a few. I have a feeling.
I think so. So let's go to the Hawkeyes in Madison at night. I'll go first because it's easy for me.
You have to pick Iowa.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm contractually obligated, but I do believe in this one as well. I think Iowa coming off the bye week. I don't know, and people think like they tell the radio guys or the pregame guy. They tell me nothing. But I think from listening to Kirk Ferentz yesterday at the press conference, I think there's a decent chance Marc Gronowski plays. It's more about Wisconsin. They're not
Yeah.
good right now. I think their coach might be gone at the end of the year. Luke
It's not like
Fickell's
the old
not.
days. Yeah,
So I'm going to
there's
go.
been some Wisconsin years that you could just pencil
Yeah.
them in.
So
But
I'm
I
going to
think-
go Hawkeyes.
Yeah, I think I'm contractually obligated not to pick the Hawkeyes because
good
you're
for you.
contractually
like that.
obligated to pick them. So I'm going to go Wisconsin.
And it's the home
And I
team.
really think, at home team, I really think this is one that I'm going to have to squeak in. Maybe it's a miracle.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a miracle. The hat comes through this week.
Sure.
With the Badgers.
No, and the thing about Wisconsin is they could be looking for a new head coach, all those kind of things. But it's still, it's Wisconsin. It's at night. It's Camp Randall Stadium. It's not a bad pick on your by any stretch of imagination.
If I win, I think I'm fortunate.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm just going to go that.
I'm
route.
worried next week because I'm going to have to pick the Hawkeyes and they play Penn State. So although Penn State lost,
Penn State's not automatic. I was thinking like, okay. I was looking at Oregon, Indiana, which you may
we're talking about in a
Oregon.
second. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
But I was thinking, okay, that makes Oregon look really good. But then maybe Oregon's not really looking that good because Penn State lost, and now that kind of waters down, muddies that win a little bit.
Yeah, I would agree. We'll talk about Iowa State. They go to Colorado. Colorado's been good. They were up by 14 against TCU. Ended up losing that game late. There was another game earlier this year that they played well in BYU. They led BYU by 14. So Colorado playing better. They're at home. Iowa State's second straight game on the road. They now go to Boulder. Can they bounce back and beat the Buffaloes?
I don't think Colorado's not. I think they're on a decline, not going. They're on a negative slope, not a positive slope. Yeah. If you want to talk about geometry. I'm going to go Iowa State. Colorado, third straight loss. I don't know when the last time they lost 3 in a row. It's been a while. Yeah. But I think that's what we're looking at. I really do. And I need to get back in Iowa State's good graces.
Yeah,
I picked against them last week. So,
although it worked for you.
I know, but still.
You don't feel too bad. It worked for you. and I picked 4.
As you recall, that was a game where I thought, if I was picking them not here but on paper, I would have picked Iowa State. Yeah. And Cincinnati just came through. Miracle. We'll take it. But I'll go Iowa State this week.
I agree with you. And college football is a lot about coaching. And Matt Campbell, I think, is a fantastic coach. And I just think it's one of those bounce-back games. They didn't play well. I think they did some things schematically.
They played well in the second half.
Yeah, but I think they did some things schematically they don't normally do. I think they're going to get back to doing what they normally do. I think their quarterback's really good. Rocco Becht is really good. Yeah. He played well against Cincinnati. He had 390 yards, I think, passing. So give me the Cyclones. And this is the warning for Iowa State. Don't do me like that again. So we'll do a do-over.
You're kind of like with me and the Bears.
Yeah.
Well, I remember when the Bears, I said no more.
Yeah.
And I might be back to that.
Yeah. So this is final warning, but I'm gonna go Iowa State. So we have one different so far. It is the Hawkeyes. I want to do one more. We usually do 3 in college. I want to do a 4th because Indiana Oregon is really a good game.
That's really a good game, and my initial thought was Oregon at home. Well, that's the other thing. They're at home.
Yeah.
They're at home. I think that's the whole – if Oregon was at Indiana just like Illinois was at Indiana, I think Indiana would be a whole different team because the atmosphere would be so much different. Yeah. Like the fans really got into destroying Illinois.
Oh, it was crazy.
I mean, it was and every big play, like Illinois had the ball and like you couldn't even hear.
Yeah.
So I think Oregon just is a different situation out on that West Coast. I really do.
I hate to be the same as you, but I'm going to be the same as you. I think Oregon, just the fact it's a Eastern time zone team going out there and playing in Oregon, and I think it's a great atmosphere. Although I will say this, you're right. The Penn State victory for Oregon doesn't look as impressive. Yeah. Because of the fact they went out there and
I was
lost.
all in for Oregon.
Yeah.
After they beat Penn State.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, okay, that opens some doors. They're top notch.
Yeah.
They're in that top 4, top 5, but maybe somebody can slip in there in place of them. I thought they were a lock.
How about this? The top 3 of the top 4 teams to start. Preseason polls came out. Texas was number 1.
Yeah, they're not.
Penn State was number 2, and somebody else is number 4. I'm messing it up. I'll think of it as well. But
Georgia,
3 of the top 4 teams are no longer ranked. Yeah. Not even just like they fell. 1, 2, and 4 after 6 weeks of football, no longer ranked. It's just crazy how quickly.
I got an Alabama hat, by the way. If Alabama beats Missouri, I may dig that one out.
Let's go to the NFL.
Okay.
We got to do, and we're going to end with the Bears.
Okay.
Because that's the Monday night game, and it's really good. I do want to talk about the Lions because it's a really good game. Is there another game? I'll let you kind of pick of another game in between there that kind of piques your interest a little bit as well. How about this one? How about Bucks and 49ers?
That's a good one. I was looking at Jaguars Seahawks.
I like that one as well. So you pick. I'll let the age be for beauty.
Wow. Yeah, that's and the Cowboys Panthers. Although I'm intrigued by the Panthers, but I just don't think they can. they have it to win that. The Cowboys are playing much better.
Mm-hmm. They really are.
Let's go Bucks 49ers.
Okay, because I feel like I'm getting the Bucks wrong all the time.
Yeah.
And that game is where?
That game is it at?
I thought it was in Tampa Bay.
Oh, here, I got it here. It's at Tampa Bay.
Okay,
yeah.
it's at Tampa Bay. So Niners, and we don't know who their quarterback is. And I don't know if we'll even know this if we weren't recording it on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like, Mac Jones played well. They go to L.A. and win last Thursday. They've had that extra time off, so they get some guys healthier.
Right.
And, your guy Baker, man.
Baker.
Like, that was, your guy Baker Mayfield continues to win games. Somebody said to me all four of their wins this year, they've been trailing in the fourth quarter.
Yep. And they needed overtime this past week.
Yeah.
But that was on the road, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was up in Seattle.
Are we starting there?
Yeah, we'll go with you there.
I'll go with the Bucks, although the Niners scare me. I thought the Niners, last week, I had them losing. Is that right? And
we didn't have them because it was a Thursday night game.
Oh, it was Thursday night.
But a lot of people had them
they played the Rams.
They played the Rams, yeah.
Yes, and I thought, okay, the Rams was an easy win.
Mm-hmm.
Not an easy. There were no easy wins last week. As a matter of fact, it makes me, the Rams are playing the Ravens this week, and I'm thinking, okay,
that should be
Rams, right? Rams and the Ravens. I misfired on that one last week. Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
I was first quarter. I said, okay, that's a Dazzo win.
Yeah.
And so congrats on that.
Oh, thank you.
But I'm going to take Bucks with Baker. I'm just going to stick with Baker until he turns me down.
Good TV says I don't take the Bucks. But I got to win some games. And they're the home team.
And you can get wins somewhere else.
They're the home team, and I think the injuries have to catch up with the Niners at some point.
That's what I'm thinking.
They have to.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know. It could be Brock Purdy. It could be Jones. Here's the intriguing thing: the week after this, the Bucks go to Detroit for Monday Night Football.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Oh my! And I can't wait for that game. So, anyways, I am going to be safe, and I'm going to take Tampa Bay. I like to be different than you, but I think we might be different a few more times.
Yeah,
so
but I think you're hearing my Baker Mayfield.
No,
pride.
I like Baker. I've always liked him. I just thought the home field advantage would be those two quarterbacks last week. Darnold and Baker were outstanding.
And Darnold plays the Jaguars. I should have thrown that one in.
Yeah,
because, I was surprised at the Jaguars. At the very first week, I thought they lost their very first game, right? And they've won every one since.
Yeah.
But I penciled the Jaguars in with the Panthers and the Saints and all those teams that you could always, like in a confidence pool, pick against the teams. Now it's the Bengals.
Yeah.
Might be Ravens. But who'd have thought that the Cardinals would have won last week? They blew everybody out.
Yeah.
Losing to the
Titans, first victory of the year.
And there's another one, the Titans. There's 4 or 5 teams there that you can say, pick against those teams.
Yeah. Well, you'd pick against the Saints, and the Saints won.
That's another one.
Yes.
There's like automatics, pick against them. And I had the Jaguars there after the first week, and but now they're back. They're back.
Can I tell you the one I'm embarrassed about last week? I picked the Jets.
No, they haven't won a game.
No, they haven't. And I figured they were just due. They're at home. I like Aaron Glenn.
Where's the overseas game this week?
The overseas game is the Jets.
Yeah, I know it's the Jets, but where are they playing?
I don't know where it's at, but is it Jets and Broncos?
Jets and Broncos, yeah. It's been Dublin. It's been London. It was London.
Might be Germany. Might be Berlin. I don't know. I'm not sure. All right, let's do Bears and Lions and wrap up a little bit. But we'll go Lions first because they play on Sunday Night Football. Okay. Bears and Monday Night Football.
I'll let you go first.
Gosh, and you know what, Ness?
I'm a little intrigued about who you'll pick.
I hate the spot. Well, I'm gonna pick the Lions because that's what I have to do right now, and I have to feed into. Everybody's power rankings. They have them at the top. They're really. I'm not complaining about injuries, but their injuries are at important positions.
Yeah.
Both cornerbacks are out right now.
Are they home?
That scares me against it's in Arrowhead.
Oh, it's at Arrowhead?
It's at Arrowhead. And I'm going to go back to this. Remember we talked earlier in the year, the Chiefs aren't going to go 0-3. Are the Chiefs going to go 2-4? I wanted the Chiefs to win.
Did I think that the Ravens would go 1-4?
No, I get it. But I think injuries are a big reason why for that. With no Lamar, their defense is all beat up. With all that being said, I think the Lions are one of the best teams in football. There's a lot of games on their schedule when he comes out that it's just a really hard schedule.
You're not picking the Chiefs.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm picking the Lions. I'm picking the Lions. It's going to be a hard one.
You're talking.
It's going to be hard. Okay. It's going to be hard. But you know what? I think the Lions are a really good football team. So maybe without a left tackle, both cornerbacks are down. they just find ways to win. And, like, here's what they can do is they control the football and keep it away from Patrick Mahomes. I mean, that's what with their running game and what they do. Their special teams are really good. Their defense gets after the quarterback. Aiden Hutchinson might be the defensive player of the year. I could talk about the Lions all day. But I will go Lions because I know you're going to pick Chiefs. And that's what I need to do.
You think?
I think so. You almost fainted when I
tried to enter your brain there. The Chiefs are going to have to score in the 30s.
Yep.
Because I think that the Lions are going to score in the 30s. Now, can the Chiefs score in the 30s? There was a time when I thought so. But when I saw Mahomes on the last play needing a touchdown against the Jaguars, and he didn't throw as far as I thought he could.
Mm-hmm.
I think it went maybe 50 yards, maybe. But I saw Baker Mayfield chuck it farther.
Yeah.
So I'm a little worried about that. I like the way Pacheco runs. I like Worthy just looked off.
That ankle's still bugging him, I think.
And you could tell that he was
and
having
no
issues
Rashid Rice
there.
yet. This is his last suspended game.
Okay.
Rashid Rice comes back after next week. Woo! Thank you, NFL.
As much
as a Lions fan.
much as I sincerely believe that the Lions will win easily.
Gotta hope you're right.
I'm going to take the Chiefs.
It's Arrowhead Stadium on a Sunday night.
and that goes in my favor.
Yeah.
And maybe I really believe that I picked the right hat for this show.
Because of red.
I told you I got a different hat I had Paradise Ain't Easy last week,
and
it really wasn't. And I won by 3. And now I got the miracle. I'm needing another miracle. I don't even know what I got for next week for hats. I'm gonna have to dig in. I got Alabama as a backup, but we'll see what happens. But Chiefs, like 34-31, something like that.
Boy, if you nail it on the head, I'm
gonna write that down. I'm gonna write that down.
I'll remember
34-31.
There's one things about winning Ness Guess, but this is my team we're talking about. I'm hoping they just win. That's why I hate to
by one.
I hate to be pot committed because I'm already going to be cranky if they lose.
Yeah, that's true.
So I always like that silver lining where like, oh, they lost, but at least I picked. But no, well, okay, the Bears and the Redskins. Excuse me,
Redskins. They sort of are the Redskins.
Yeah, the Bears, Commanders. Jaden Daniels back. He looked good last week. They went to LA and they won on the road.
Back last week.
Did you pick the Chargers?
I
did too.
I did.
I just thought the Chargers were a better football team. I don't think it mattered to me.
But I'm a big Jaden Daniels fan.
Yeah.
I like Daniels as much as I like Baker Mayfield.
Okay.
I mean, those two are like, if I had my fantasy team is Jalen Hurts, which is okay.
Yeah.
But it's not who I would prefer. I'd prefer one of those other two, just between me and you.
And everybody else.
And all the podcast viewers. When it comes to Bears and Commanders, the thing that's solid in my head is the Bear defensive secondary guy taunting the crowd.
This is the game.
On the last play. And it's, oh, wait, there's one more play left.
Yeah.
And he gets back in, and the ball's already up in the air, and they catch it, and the Commanders win.
Yeah.
And I think that game was at Chicago.
It was in Washington.
It was
they went crazy afterwards.
Is this one also in?
It's in Washington.
This one's in Washington as well. Well, then we're revisiting.
Yeah.
So I think.
So do the Bears come back to the scene of the crime and get revenge?
I'm gonna go
off of a bye week.
Off of a bye week. That's true too. I think this is a big test for the Bears. I think this tells you where they're at for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Because they're coming off the bye week. So, okay, you have to be prepared. But as I said, give me Jaden Daniels more often than not. So I'm going to go with Jaden Daniels. This is probably a game that I'm going to need another miracle. I just have a feeling that I just like the way he plays.
Yeah.
I just do. And I like him better than Williams. I just think that Washington has more weapons offensively.
Mm-hmm.
I think it could be a scoring game. Just like the Lions.
Here's what I'll say. In that quarterback class, I'm gonna pick the Commanders.
Okay.
Just it's a tough game on the
Yeah.
and I don't think the Bears are there yet. And
That's kind of where I'm at,
people
too.
like, hey, they beat the Raiders, and that's you take a win when you can get a win.
Yeah.
Like, and people say,
Well,
well,
the
the Raiders
Raiders-
aren't very good. Don't matter.
They haven't scored.
Take a win when you can get a win and run with it. So like, and same thing with the Cowboy victory looks good now.
Yeah.
Like it was at the time. It was like, the Cowboys are very good. They held the Cowboys to 14 points.
Cowboys getting better.
And the Cowboys score a bunch of points. So
Raiders, Titans,
so
that's
this
another
isn't
good
a
one.
negative thing to, but I'll say this. Last week alone, this is the same draft class. Bo Nix beat the Eagles.
Yeah.
Drake May beat the Bills.
Yeah.
Jaden
Patriots.
Daniels beat the Chargers.
Yeah.
I want to see Caleb Williams get that signature victory. That would be this. If they can
Yeah.
go on the road to Washington and get that signature
They
win.
talked a lot
and-
about signature wins, all those upsets.
Yep. So I want to see that if Caleb can do it. I don't know if he can yet.
Yeah.
I think Jaden Daniels is the better quarterback still. I think he's healthy.
You
I'm
could
going to go with
you
Washington,
could-
but
you
that'll
could
be
still change it.
No, I'm not picking the Bears. I'm not picking the Bears. But we have a couple different, and we'll
We-
have
and
much
we'll-
more after
we'll-
that.
yeah.
And in your eyes, the less different, the better.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, 8 different, and
Yeah.
this last week we had a lot different too.
Well, I've gained 6. No, I've gained
5 in 2 weeks.
5 games.
Thanks for
5 games
yes,
in 2 weeks.
Ness, we understand.
But I'm just saying that like it's better to I can. If I
now
get
you can play defensive a little bit.
yeah, play defensive. We talked about
I gotta
that
start
too.
being aggressive. I don't know if this is
But
the week
when
to be
I
aggressive.
look at so Dazzo always sends me his picks the morning after this podcast, and I always look and I count them real
Yeah.
quick. Like, are you kidding me? 8 games
what
different.
was last week? It had to be
Last
like
was 7. The week before was 8. So we've had 15
That's
games
great
different.
theater, and you've kicked my butt on them.
Well, I've been lucky.
Yeah.
So,
Well, lucky or good. We'll say I want to be. I want to be lucky. So, anyways, guys.
I just don't want to have 8 and 10 not lucky.
Man, I tell you what.
Sorry to rub that in.
Yeah, thank you for. I got to at least be 500. Like I'm really embarrassed by the 8 and 10. I'm going to do better this week. I want to thank you guys for getting involved in it. What's that?
Well, I was going to say, even though I was 11 and 7, I could have done better. I really like the 6-7 vibes I got going. right, Little Dazzle.
Yeah.
6-7 vibes. He likes it too.
He loves it. I will say this too.
He gives me
we
a thumbs up.
didn't talk about the Packers because they're both of our Survivor picks.
Yeah.
So that'll tell you what we're gonna do because that's my Survivor pick
Mine
this week
too.
and yours as well.
I think
so
it's everybody else too.
Get into the Ness Guess. It's a bunch of fun.
Yep.
It's a click of a button. And if you win, you win
Both of
great
our
hobo
social medias.
Yeah, great Hungry Hobo food. And we thank Hungry Hobo once again. Again, we're here at the Hungry Hobo in Rock Island, kind of becoming our home away from home,
Yeah,
which is
it
a beautiful
is.
thing. So
I like it.
we got much more to get to. You're watching Off the Air on a Wednesday right here in the Quad Cities.
Hello, Dan Pearson here of FCA. Our team is thrilled to support Off the Air with our good friend Matt Randazzo. We share the view of the power of sport when it comes to relationships, including the influence of the coach. FCA believes the coach is the most influential person in America. Matt celebrates local coaches and athletes. His content is informational, insightful, and inspirational. Our Fellowship of Christian Athlete team loves partnering with Off the Air with Matt Randazzo while we engage, equip, and empower coaches and athletes in our 23 counties. FCA, the heart and soul in sports.
View from the West, the podcast covering Illinois high school football.
It's going to be a hard-hitting game. It's going to be great football.
Weekly analysis and reaction from around the western side of the state of Illinois.
This is the game we had circled when the year started.
Follow along on YouTube and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's big-time football out there tonight, and I know we can play big-time football.
View from the West. We got you covered.
Are you looking for the Quad City's best chips and salsa? There's only one dude to turn to.
Right on.
Snoop. Hand-cut chips, fried fresh with that crunch you've come to love. And the most addicting salsa with delicious fresh ingredients each and every time. Pick up your chips and salsa, queso, enchiladas, and much more at the Stern Center in Rock Island. To place your order, simply call the man himself. It's Snoop at 309-314-8197 and find out for yourself what the rest of the Quad Cities already loves. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Wednesday, October 8th. I always set myself up to do that because I say here on and then I forget. I used to do that at the TV station. We would record morning sports, and I would always say, have a great, and I'd say the next day, but I'm recording it the night before. So I would always forget what the next day was, and sometimes I'd have to do the whole thing over again. Sometimes I would just look like an idiot because I go, have a great day, Quad Cities. So I got to quit putting myself in a bad situation. It's been a fun show here on a Wednesday. We started things off with Lasondra Barrett, assistant coach for the Iowa women's basketball team, and she was outstanding. If anybody missed the interview, go back, check it out. We'll put a bunch of stuff up on social media as well, but she was really good, really good. First year at the University of Iowa, former LSU all-SEC player from Georgia. Coached at Georgia Tech last 3 seasons, had good success. Coaching change at the end of last season, their coach retiring, and Jan Jensen made sure that Lasondra knew that she wanted her to come to the University of Iowa, got up here, has loved it ever since. So really cool to hear her story on how she got to the University of Iowa, but then also her thoughts on the University of Iowa. Didn't get her in trouble when it came to recruiting, but ask those questions about, the philosophy, I guess, on the Iowa recruiting right now. And it's been good, and it could get really, really good here in the future as well. Speaking of the Iowa Hawkeyes and the women's basketball program, they were just announced their 20th in the country for the preseason poll, the AP Top 25. So a number 20 national ranking for a team that I think is young, I think is talented, and I think will continue to get better throughout the year. So I think it could be a fun winter once again at Carver Hawkeye Arena. Again, men's and women's basketball days up for the Big Ten in Chicago, Wednesday and Thursday. Tomorrow on the show, we're hoping to catch up with Tyler Tashman, kind of get his thoughts. I think he's headed to Chicago today, so get his thoughts on a little basketball, but then we'll talk more about Iowa and Wisconsin and the night game coming up with the Hawkeyes and the Badgers. And we should mention that Kirk Ferentz was asked yesterday. It sounds like Marc Randazzo is practicing, looking better. They don't know how it'll look on Saturday, but I guess there's a chance, and probably a decent chance, that Marc Randazzo will be the quarterback for the University of Iowa. We'll kind of talk to Tyler a little more about that tomorrow, see if we can get an update on what he's hearing and all those kind of things as well. So really fun first segment with Lasondra. If you missed it, we're going to be live next Tuesday at Iowa Women's Basketball Media Day and next Wednesday for the Men's Day. So 2 live shows at Carver Hawkeye Arena. That will be a ton of fun as well. Also, need to remind everyone, for the Hawkeye Tailgate Show this weekend on the Hawkeye Radio Network, we go from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock at Big Grove Brewery in Iowa City. Our guest will be head coach Jan Jensen. So if you're in the Iowa City area, you want to see the head coach, stop by, say hi, check out the show as we kick off a Saturday night on the Hawkeye Football Radio Network. It should be a bunch of fun. Also on the show today, Ty Taylor talking about the TRAC. We will be on the road on Friday. I think we're going to be at Riverdale. Really excited because Greg Armstrong is going to be on the show with me. Usually Greg's on a pre-recorded segment and all that kind of stuff. Greg doesn't have work on Friday, so we're going to bring the View from the West to off the air with Matt Randazzo on Friday morning. It should be a bunch of fun. So we're on the road a lot coming up, and it should be a bunch of fun. Technology be nice to me. Please, technology be nice to me. It has been so far. So, and then also we just got done with Ness Guess coming up right after the show. Give me a half an hour to do some work, and the link to this week's contest will be out all over the place. So sign up, win great food from Hungry Hobo. Thank you once again to Hungry Hobo for being a sponsor of the Ness Guess contest. And it's been really fun for Ness, really fun for myself. Grew up reading it, got to take part in it, and It is. It's a Quad City sports tradition, nearly 4 decades of it. So it's really cool to have Ness Guess back on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. A couple things before we get out of here for the day. Some tough news. Actually, we're going to start with our Skiles Driving School Drive of the Week. Each week we kind of spotlight a really fun, really cool drive when it comes to high school basketball. This was week 6, and kind of give you the Skiles Driving School drive, of the week. You know what? Ever since having pneumonia a few weeks ago, I haven't quite gotten rid of the entire cold and all that kind of stuff. But so let's get to it. Our Skiles Driving School drive of the week, and it comes to us from Annawan Wethersfield. The Titans 5-0 on the season, and a drive like this kind of shows you why they're so dangerous. Matt Heitzler with the keeper right here. He runs, picks up the first down, leaping a defender. Very next play, he'll hand off to Nick Thurston. Tough running. And he picks up another first down, grinding out yardage. And then if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They keep it on the ground. Devin Horry blows through the line and races in for the touchdown. A trio of 3 really, really good running backs for the Titans. And that drive, part of a big effort for Annawan Wethersfield. They went on in a battle of undefeateds and beat Stark County. I believe the final score was 48-7 or something along those lines. So an impressive drive and game from the Annawan Wethersfield Titans. Of course, that's your drive of the week, brought to you by Skiles Driving School, a great sponsor of Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. So a lot of fun doing those each and every week. And thank you once again to Skiles for being a great sponsor of the of Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Also, some tough news when it comes to the Iowa State Cyclones for the second straight big recruit. Mylan Paris, a 4-star wide receiver from Akron, Ohio, really highly rated, had already committed to Iowa State. He decommitted last night. Other schools interested, now involved. So that sounds like Oklahoma, Oregon, Miami, and Auburn all involved. Of course, Iowa State had a highly recruited running back recently decommit as well. So, and it brings up a bunch of different questions online, and I don't really know the answers, so I don't want to speculate too much, but we'll talk to Jake Brend about it next week. But is it anything to do, a lot to do with NIL and what Iowa State can afford and present to some of these players as well? We'll talk more to Jake Brend about that, but a tough news for the Cyclones. Obviously, they lost last week, but on the field wise, a top 25 national ranking, a victory over Iowa, a victory over Kansas State. Can't feel too bad for the Cyclones. They'll go on the road this week to Colorado, see if they can get back on track. So, but some tough news recruiting wise when it came to the Iowa State Cyclones. Again, a big game tonight, later this afternoon, basically this evening. Cubs and Brewers. Game 3 must win. Get the cliches out. Must win. Backs against the wall. All those kind of things. The Cubs got to have a victory tonight or today against the Brewers. Jamison Talion going to the mound for the Cubs, who's been arguably their best pitcher. Really has been. So see if they can get an effort from him. I talked with Larry Hawley on the show yesterday, and really right now for the Cubs, it's just one game at a time. And I know Cub fans, I've talked to a lot of them. I am one of them. You know, kind of have this season written off, and it's going to be a lot. It's going to take a lot to get back in this series, but you can't look at it as winning Wednesday, Thursday, and then a game 5. You have to look at it as one game at a time, starting tonight. I know the Cubs have gotten off to good starts. Larry Hawley, as I mentioned, was on, and yesterday he said, I want to see the Cubs get a lead. And somebody said to me after the show, what was Larry talking about? Because they've gotten a lead in each of the first 2 games. A solo home run in the first inning of game number 1, a 3-run homer in the first inning game number 2. But they didn't get to the end of the first inning with the lead. And I know they eventually got it, or they got the lead, but they didn't hold on to it for any amount of time. So I think what Larry was kind of talking about, and I agree with him, they got to get a lead and stay with this lead for a little bit and get on top. Get that crowd going. It should be electric at Wrigley Field, and worry about this one. As we mentioned, Talion's been the best pitcher for the Cubs right now. I don't even know who 2 would be, probably Matt Boyd on full rest, but worry about all that kind of stuff later. You have your arguably best pitcher right now on the mound in Game 3. See if the Cubs can continue this series at least to a Game 4 on Thursday. Also, Yankees won last night. Blue Jays were up 6-1, about ready to put that series to bed. Yankees come back, win that one. So now it's 2-1 Blue Jays. Yankees and Blue Jays Game 4 coming up. The Dodgers and the Phillies, I believe, are this evening. Dodgers looking to sweep the Phillies, so the Phillies needing a victory as well. And then the Tigers losing yesterday, and they're now down 2-1 to the Mariners. So each series kind of shaping up. And boy, you look at it right now, until they lost the lead late last night, it looked like the Blue Jays were just a juggernaut and the Dodgers are the talented team in baseball, and they were on a collision course to the World Series. We'll see if that comes to fruition, see if that happens. But it's a big night and big afternoon of baseball. We'll talk more about it tomorrow right here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Also, I do want to mention before we take off as well, the Fighting Illini will welcome number 1 ranked Ohio State to town coming up on Saturday. We started the week with Ked Prince. We're going to talk more about that game, hopefully tomorrow, tracking down our good friend Jim Matson, who does a fantastic job breaking things down. Hopefully we can get Jim to come on the show tomorrow and talk about that. So Tyler Tashman, Jim Matson, and several other things along the way. If you missed anything this week, go check it out. If you're on YouTube, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. That helps us out a ton. But if you missed things this week, it's been a fun week once again. Pat Anger, Ked Prince, Tyler Whitebread from Erie, Prophetstown, and John Marks were all on Monday. Everyone was fantastic. Jake Brend was on yesterday. Tom Kakert was on yesterday as well. And then today, Lasondra Barrett, Marc Nesseler, and Ty Taylor. So a really fun group of shows. Yesterday, I mentioned Larry Hawley was on the show as well. So it's been a fun week here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. It will continue tomorrow and into Friday as well. And of course, next week, a big week. We mentioned some shows on the road tomorrow, or I should say next week will be a bunch of fun as well. So I want to thank everyone for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, X, podcast platform, if you're watching in Central Iowa, thank you for the feedback. We're having a blast. Hopefully you guys are having fun with us as well. And we'll be back with a brand new episode of Off the Air with Matt Randazzo coming up tomorrow. Enjoy your Wednesday, and go Cubs. We'll see you guys tomorrow.